Amanda.
Hey, hey,
Amanda,
hey.
what did you do this weekend? Anything fun?
Oh my goodness. It was a nice weekend. We were just hanging out at home. We really didn't have any plans. And sometimes those are the best weekends because it gives you
Oh,
the chance to relax. And we had beautiful weather. So we were just outside a lot. We got pumpkins. So
oh,
that's
okay.
the notable thing that we did this weekend.
I saw this meme and this was so true. It's like something that empty nesters aren't prepared for is
Oh
how
no.
weird Halloween is when you
Oh,
don't
sure.
have kids to like get costumes for or buy candy and do the
Hmm.
carving of the pumpkins. And like literally a half an hour after I saw this meme, and I was like, oh gosh, my husband goes, we should get pumpkins and carve them this weekend.
Perfect. You're not an empty nester after all.
I'm not. I still have a
You have your
51-year-old
husband.
child named Andrew that
Yes.
keeps me young and like I'm still parenting. So
Uh-huh. It's
thank you,
great.
Drew.
Yes.
Um, but I also have nieces and Amanda, I anytime
I
I get to spend,
saw.
anytime I get to
Yeah.
spend time with my nieces, one, they're 12 and 11
Uh-huh.
and they keep me,
They keep you
relevant,
young.
like up to date on the latest
Mm-hmm.
trends, like what's cool,
Mm-hmm.
what's not
I feel like
cool.
you have more energy than them when I saw you
I
online
mean,
this
come
weekend.
on. I told them, I was like, girls. So they're a little bit, they have PTSD because one of the last times we hung out, I got picked to do a dance off like in
Ah,
front of the crowd, like where the
uh-huh.
game we were at. And so they're
Uh-huh.
still traumatized that I
I don't want to
went
bring
out onto
attention
the,
to you.
yes, when I went out onto the court and I did the,
What's
um,
Jen gonna do this
but
time?
just so you know, and I want to tell all of you opt listeners, just to make sure you guys are relevant and cool. The latest from them is here's some tips. Okay.
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 I need these.
Owala is still definitely the water bottle that everybody needs to
Mm,
get.
hmm.
Lululemon is still the athleisure,
Yeah.
of choice.
Hmm.
Okay. It's really good to do like fall or like season themed nails. Like
Ah.
when you go get a manicure, get like fall, get like pumpkins on your nails and then like get candy canes
Oh
for
my.
the like trendy
Cool.
nails are
Okay.
the
Did you
thing.
get your
Okay.
nails done, Jen?
I did not get my nails done, but I did paint my nails. And
Okay.
they also said that one of the trends is to do like pick like three or four different colors and do like one nail a
Hmm.
different color.
Okay.
So I did that.
Okay. Jen's
What do
cool.
you think?
I think it's
So
it's
if you're
perfect. It
watching
matches the
this,
season.
yes, they're fall like
Very
multicolored
cute.
nails. Okay.
I love it.
And Kendra Scott is the jewelry
Okay.
that everybody's wearing. Okay, so
Okay.
that's still cool.
Hmm.
And of course, like anything from Sephora, any
Mm.
sort of new makeup. I just got the new Rihanna lip gloss.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of it now, but it's okay since I'm not a makeup influencer.
Yeah.
But it is the new Rihanna trendy lip gloss.
I
So
haven't
yeah,
heard of
they
that.
keep me. Yeah, we got Starbucks, we had Chick-fil-A. We just did all the things. It was
Aw,
great.
that's awesome.
Good time, yeah.
So
So
fun.
nothing like a 12-year-old to keep you in check.
There you go.
All right, let's do this thing, Amanda.
All right.
All right, episode 26 of Online People
Ooh.
Talking. I am joined by my amazing colleague, Amanda Martin.
Hey,
We
hey.
just love Amanda at Do You Convert,
Aw.
not only for her brain. I mean, she does lots of different things at Do You Convert. She's a coach, she's a trainer, she does our data and our graphs and all those things, which is what we're going to talk about today. Amanda, welcome to Opt. And
Thank you.
you're gonna be talking about the Q3 benchmarks.
Yay, my favorite thing.
I know she gets so passionate about numbers,
I
y'all.
love the numbers.
Why do you get so passionate about this?
Well, I was a finance major, so it just kind of like
I didn't
a
know
business
that.
finance major. So I like numbers. I don't know. And I mean, Jessie said before it was like my hashtag is facts, not feelings, right? Like if you can put numbers around it, like it's true, it's there, like, so I like that.
Facts, not feelings. I
Hmm.
think we need a t-shirt.
We
Facts, not
do.
feelings.
Facts, not
Is that a new
feelings.
t-shirt?
That is, it is.
So we need a Where's Kevin t-shirt. We
Right.
decided at the
For
summit,
sure.
Where's Kevin? We need a facts, not feelings.
Hmm.
If you have any other great online sales t-shirt ideas, email
Hmm.
us because we're
Hmm.
always looking for that. But yeah, wanted to have Amanda on today because a lot of people they can't wait for us to release these benchmarks, and we've
Mm.
got some interesting and exciting couple of interesting changes that we have for Q3 that we're going to share with you.
Hmm.
So let's get into it, Amanda. So
Yay.
let's first talk about what the numbers are. So if you're
Yeah.
listening, write these down.
Okay. Yes. All right. So we crunched the numbers. Lead to appointment came in at 37%. Appointment
Ooh.
to sell came in at 20%. And
Mm-hmm.
then the online sales contribution came in at 52%.
Whoa.
Yeah. So those are your numbers.
I
Four
like
different
you at
numbers.
52%.
I know that one saw a big jump. That was exciting to see. So
Yeah.
a nice little increase there of 4%
Mhm.
from the previous quarter. So that was
And
nice.
this, yeah, and just a reminder for everybody, this data is from the not all the builders we work with, but the builders that we have access to their data that we can
Mm-hmm.
verify that they count leads, appointments, and sales the same way so that there's consistency and that there's data integrity across the board. And
That's
Amanda,
right.
how many different markets and online sales specialists are represented in these numbers?
Oh my goodness. It was 125 online sales specialists and over 30 different markets. So it was
Okay.
great.
So
Yeah.
a really
Nice
great,
mix.
a great sampling
Mm-hmm.
of numbers. And do we know how many like total leads, appointments, and sales we looked at?
Leads wise, it was over 50,000 leads. So
Okay.
that was, a good amount. And then appointments wise, let me tell you, I have it right here. So appointments, it was over 16,000. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So lots of leads and appointments that we were looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what was the change
Yeah.
quarter over quarter? Did anything change
Yes.
and what were the changes?
Yes, it did. So lead to appointment went down by 2%. And then appointment to sale went down by 3%. So that was the change. And of course, we already talked about the online sales contribution increased
Mm-hmm.
by 4%. So that was good.
Yeah.
So yeah, so those were the changes.
Yeah, and overall there was about a 14% decrease in lead volume,
Right.
right? When we
Mm-hmm.
looked at Q2 to Q3, right? No
Mm-hmm.
surprise, everybody
Yeah.
has felt that, but you know what? That's okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep calm, don't freak out. The
Mm-hmm.
leads go low. It's time for us to grow. So we've got a few things Amanda's going to share with us that she actually added into this that, we're going to talk about, but what do
Mm-hmm.
you think, Amanda? So a dip to 37% and lead to appointment, like the first thing we think, like, okay, less leads, the
Mm-hmm.
conversion should be better. Like,
Right.
what are you
That's
thinking?
that's what we a lot of times, when you have less leads to work with, you have more time to like
Mm-hmm.
really manage your leads really well. So you would
Yeah.
think if there's less leads, like you would see an increase, but we saw the opposite. So of course there's some hesitancy out there.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that part of your numbers, like the way that you can really affect that is by making sure that you're really quick to get to your leads. So we always say
Mm-hmm.
speed to lead, speed equals I care. And that's where you can really make a difference there. And we know there's hesitancy out there in the market. So if you can get them on the phone to start with, that's your number one step. But then you just really have to work on these soft skills because people are just so
Mm-hmm.
guarded right now. You got to be able to get them to open up to you, and you've got to always ask for the appointment, be able to overcome those objections. So it's trying to maximize like every single opportunity that you can get because there's not as many right
Yeah.
now. We saw that leads were down. So it's like, how can we turn every single lead that we can get our fingers on into
Yeah.
appointments?
Yeah. No, I love that. So, as a coaching team, when we look at these things, we go, okay, let's think about what we know, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm,
facts, not feelings.
mm-hmm,
We saw the dip in leads. We saw the little bit of dip in lead to appointment. The other thing that we know is
mm-hmm.
that there is more buyer hesitancy right now. And I want to take that a step further. And Amanda touched on this a little bit, but like people, what we're hearing when we're listening to calls is a lot of people doing research.
Right.
I'm just starting to do my research. I want to see what's going to happen after the election. I'm gathering my facts right now. So there's a little bit of like more research happening, more
Just
calling
dipping their
in.
toes in the
Yeah, dipping
water,
their
right?
toes, asking questions.
Mm-hmm.
And so as online sales specialists, if we go, okay, my lead to appointment has dipped a bit,
Mm-hmm.
how do I improve that?
Mm-hmm.
So Amanda mentioned speed to lead,
Yeah.
going for the no, right? We did
Mm-hmm.
a whole podcast about how to ask for the appointment,
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
brushing up on the objections. So if somebody does give you a little bit of pushback, like, oh, I'm really just kind of looking, I just want to kind of wait and see,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, what can we say? Amanda, what can we say if somebody says that?
Hey, I get it. Just come out and take a peek. Just looking is the fun part. That's totally
Yeah.
fine. I'll let them
Yeah.
know that you're just looking. And that's the best way to get information for when you are ready. Gather it
Woo!
now. Just look. It'll be fine.
Love
It's
it.
great.
Love it. So we got to brush up on that and we got to be
Yeah.
confident in
Mm-hmm.
saying that, right? Yeah,
Yes.
come check us out, right? Come check us out.
Amen.
Okay, the next number we look at is appointment to sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that took a little bit of a shift too, right?
Yep, yep, yep. Down by 3%. So,
Mhm.
when that starts happening, it's all about the qualification of the lead, right? So if they're going to be turning into a sale, you got to have really good quality appointments. And of course, you want to get as many people out there as you can, but you got to make sure that you're qualifying in all 5 areas of qualification and just getting them to open up to you. You want to learn their story. Mm-hmm.
Hey, it's Jessie Suggs. She is
Yay!
here.
Hi,
I just
Jessie.
bombed your podcast, didn't I?
Love it.
You
Come on.
did. We'd love to
Wait,
have you.
no, we love it. We love it. Jesse, we were just talking about appointment to sale and that there was a little bit of a shift from 23% to 20%. Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, huh, okay, that's interesting. Let's think about
Mm-hmm.
this for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, Amanda, you had an interesting perspective of that. We had, that huge surge and that big lead volume that kind of
Mm-hmm.
surged up in Q2 or Q1 that transferred over to
Yeah.
sale in Q2,
Yeah. It was
right?
almost like it was normalizing back out this
Yeah.
quarter. So
Yeah.
that one was like, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. And again, I just want to say, like, from our home to yours, from our lips to your ears, is that and we're normalizing. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
This is considered more of a normal market, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's ebbs, there's flows, all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we were super excited to see that contribution was strong,
Mm-hmm.
right? At
Mm-hmm.
52%. Now,
Yes.
Amanda, when you took out and you looked at the top performing,
Yeah.
established, long-standing online
Mm-hmm.
sales programs, what did you see there?
Yeah. So lead to appointment was 47%, appointment to sale was 21%, and the online sales contribution was 58%. So they always have
Whoa.
such excellent numbers when we pull out those top performers and established teams. So they always do a great job.
Wow. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Amanda has written a blog where you can see all of these details. So definitely go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's kind of go back and forth between the three of us. What are some takeaways and things that people need to focus on moving into the end of the year, knowing where these benchmarks are and
Mm-hmm.
knowing what we know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. Wait, before we do that, Amanda, I almost forgot. What was our new thing that you added this year?
Yeah, I'm super
Or this,
excited. So,
yeah.
yeah, I'm glad you brought this up. So, we're always talking about prospecting, right? It's a huge deal in our world right
Mhm.
now. And so we were like, hey, let's put some data around this. Facts, not feelings. Here we are again. So we decided to track this on this quarter. And we were so glad to see that we did. So basically, we're taking, okay, all the appointments, right? So how many of them came from leads that signed up more than 45 days ago? So we call these our age leads. And we want to have our online sales specialists practicing prospecting efforts every single month consistently. And we want to know like how many of these appointments are coming from these age leads from our prospecting efforts. So we tracked it and 19%. So we always said our goal was 15%. And, they're doing even better than that. So that was really cool to see. It was a bright
Oh
spot
my
in our
gosh.
benchmarks.
Jesse, what are your thoughts on that? Because I mean,
You know,
you've been just driving the prospecting train.
oh,
Uh-huh.
well, you kind of in a market where, and I know it's like, oh, here they go again, talking about prospecting, talking about whatever,
Yeah.
but it's true because you have to be proactive rather than reactive. And so when
Mhm.
you think about benchmarks, you can't wait for the new ones to come out to go, oh, was I successful or not? Because conversions really are dictated on a company wide level. Like what's your walk-in traffic like? What's your realtor relationships like?
Yeah.
So there's so many different things that go into it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you are thinking about what does the future quarter look like, what does success look like for that, and then like Amanda's been talking about, she's kind of our numbers girly, and being able to forecast
Mm-hmm.
that stuff and adds tremendous value to an organization. But
Mm-hmm.
working off of the I feel like will never
Mhm.
get you there. And so knowing what percentage of your appointments came from age leads is a critical piece of metrics to know how do I offset a slowing market. So like as we're going into quarter four,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
no, lead count will probably slow down with the holidays, with
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
hesitancy, with the election, with all the things we know. How do you offset that to keep your conversion metrics at that percentage where it's healthy? It's with prospecting. And so
Yeah.
we've been kind of just teeing it up so
Mm-hmm.
that everybody can feel good about the last quarter of the year. And so tracking that's been really cool. Looking at the success for online sales and what has felt like a challenging, it's like been weird quarter three. Like it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, we're below on sales, but then we had a really good month and then we were down on sales.
Yeah.
And
It's definitely been it's up and down. And
yeah.
there's certain pockets. It's like, hey, we're dying over here, but then this market's doing pretty good. Like it's just been a little bit all over the place for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love that we're tracking this
Mm-hmm.
because I think the other reason selfishly that I'm excited we're tracking this is that we have proof that it does work. One of
Mm-hmm.
the things that, sometimes we talk about prospecting and it's like, oh, like it's so hard and like, does it even work? Like, what am I even
Mm-hmm.
doing? I haven't reached anybody,
Yeah.
and then if you're tracking it and you look and you go almost 20% of the
Mm-hmm.
appointments that we set in Q3 came from older leads, that
Mm-hmm.
tells a different story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, and so when you have that decrease in leads and you go, how are we going to reach, one thing Jessie had you guys do, if you listen to the last op, she said in the homework, the skills check was to go in and figure out, go to your leader and say, what are our sales goals for the end of the year? What do I need to do as far as appointments and sales, my contribution? And if you do that math and you get to a lead number and you're like, okay, it says I need 150 leads in order to reach this goal, and we're trending at 100
Mm-hmm.
right now, where am I going to go get the other opportunities? Guess
Mm-hmm.
what? In your database.
There you
You're going to
go.
go into your database and you're going to do the heck out of some prospecting and
Mm-hmm.
try to get something out of there. So I'm excited to just see all the fruits of your hard labor, online sales specialist.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to show it here. You're able
Yeah.
to show it. Great job on Q3. That's so
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Okay, now what do we need to be thinking about? What are some takeaways, guys? We'll go back and forth. Amanda, what's your first one? What does everybody need to be doing?
Everyone needs to be prospecting for quarter four. So there's your very
Okay.
first one. Got to
Okay.
prospect and track it. If you don't track it right now, track it so that you can try to get to the industry benchmark.
Okay. Jesse, what about
Yeah.
you? What do you got?
I think some self-reflection, like going back and listening to your previous calls, doing
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
just an audit of like, did I even ask for the appointment? Like,
yeah.
how can I fill the funnel if I forget to even ask? Or did I slip up and not identify an objection because it was different than what I was used to? Or was I scared? Do I need
Yeah.
to come up with a script? So do
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
some call evals.
Call evals. And then kind of to piggyback on that, if you are struggling with how to overcome objections or pivot those conversations, role play. Like
Yes.
get uncomfortable, get a little naked and vulnerable and get a partner and say, hey, listen, this is something I'm hearing here, write it out. This is a script I came up with of what I'm going to say. And then you got to practice. So listen to calls, role play, prospecting. Anything else?
Don't actually get naked. Just putting it out there.
Don't actually get. I mean, if you want to get naked,
Well,
I mean, no judgment here. Whatever you want to do, just not at work.
On your camera.
If that makes your role play better, I mean,
yeah.
But another thing to do too is just to have some scripts kind of in your back pocket. So the market's going to get harder. And, one script that you really want to be comfortable with is new versus use, right? So if you've been listening to Kevin's stuff, like that's one you're going to have in your back pocket coming up.
Well,
so,
Amanda, tell him what Kevin was just talking about.
He was talking about the sleeping giant of the used homes. They're awakening.
That's your competition.
In lots of different markets, and you haven't had to deal with this for a while, but it's coming back. So get ready.
So
Kevin knows.
Used homes, coming back on the market. That's your competition. Look at a new versus used script. Why is now a good time to buy a new home? What are the benefits of buying a new home versus used? That's super important.
All right, ladies. Too. My last pro tip is new versus new, because I know people are competing. I mean, people go, okay, new construction is a luxury. That was the mindset before. Like I could never afford a new construction home. But now that potentially used and new homes are rivaling in cost, the price versus cost conversation, you've got more than just, we come with a warranty and we come with, energy efficiency, or we come with appliances. It's like, so does everybody else.
Shop your competition.
Like, what makes your builder different? Like, what is the unique selling proposition of why they should buy with your builder? And be confident in saying that. And don't wait for your customer to ask you what that is, but tell them that at a time.
USP, baby. I had a sales manager that was all about the USP. Unique selling proposition. It was like, go out and find out what the USP is. And then you better know that. You better be able to talk about that whenever somebody calls you about that particular model home or whatever. You better talk about that USP. I mean, it makes sense, right? Like Jessie's saying, like what's so great about this community, or what's so great about this particular floor plan? I can remember saying like, hey, I was just out there and I laid across the maybe don't say this, but I'll just tell you what I said. I laid across the kitchen island. It's like 8 feet long. You could lay on it if you want, or you could host an amazing, Thanksgiving dinner around it, whatever. Like talk about those awesome things. Okay. Skills check, because you got to check yourself before you what?
Wreck yourself.
And we don't want you to wreck yourself. So we've talked about, if you do have having Amanda on, because she just laughs at my
you're just hilarious. You bring tears to my eyes.
That's so good. I'm glad somebody laughs at me, Amanda. I don't know.
I got you, Jen.
Okay. We don't want you guys to wreck yourself. So we've talked about lead to appointment. We talked about appointment to sale, talked about overall contribution. And one thing we didn't talk about, but I'm just going to say it now, appointment made to kept is another thing that you want to be tracking. And we also talked about tracking your prospecting. Out of those metrics, which one would you guys say online sales has the most control, like to affect the number? And affect, I say with an A, like you can affect that number. So Amanda says lead to appointment.
Yeah.
What do you say, Jessie?
Yeah, I agree.
Lead to appointment. Yeah, lead to appointment. And I think prospecting too. I think lead to appointment for sure. Like you can really affect that number. And then obviously if you're tracking that prospecting, you can affect what your prospecting percentage is. You can affect that. But let's focus on, lead to appointment for a minute. We talked about speed to lead and all of those things. what we would like you guys to do is, and we're going to do something a little different. We want you to look at your metrics and compare them to what we've listed here. And if there's something, one of those things that you are like, hey, I'm not quite here, I need to get this number up, we want you to think about that. We want you to write down a goal of what you can do in your control to affect that number, right? So just some ideas. What's your idea for lead to appointment, Amanda? How can they affect that number?
How quick can you be to get to them on the phone?
Okay.
Yeah.
So looking at your response time, right? Going for the no, asking for the appointment every time. Jessie, appointment to sale. How can they affect that number?
Well, obviously making sure you're sending them to the right community, qualification is key.
Qualification.
I think when you asked which one do we have the most control over, it's the only one that we solo have, part
it's just us.
We depend on our on-site sales team with both with the show rate, because we're doing our part in reminding them, they're doing their part in reminding them, the appointment to sale. We're doing our part in qualifying. They're doing their part in kind of taking them to the finish line and selling them the home. And then the overall contribution is just a byproduct of everything else. And so being able to set those qualified appointments is where it starts, I think.
Yeah. And I think too, appointment to sale, definitely that involves your on-site. So looking at your handoff process, are there some holes there that you can help affect change positively? Online sales contribution, if you're not hitting that 50% contribution, it could be that lead to appointment and appointment to sale is off. But the other thing that I encourage you to look at is do an audit. Are all the leads coming to you?
Right.
That will affect contribution. Right. If you have leads bypassing you, if you have heavy realtor sales that are bypassing online sales and going out on site, that will affect your contribution. If something's broken, your call to action is down, your web forms, something on your website, there's an inbox sitting somewhere with leads piling up that you don't know anything about. Those types of things will affect your contribution. So go figure out which area it is that you want to focus on. Write out a plan based on those suggestions we've given you of what you're going to do to affect that number. Send it to your leader and hey, CC us. We want to see what you're doing out there. We want to encourage you. We want to give you kudos and props and cheer you on. So remember, you can always email us at onlinesales@doyouconvert.com. All three of us will get it. We'll see that. So we want to know what you're doing out there and give you some props. So, okay. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. I hope you have an amazing day and go get some fall nails. Jessie, you missed this part.
Oh,
to stay relevant right now, you got to get your nails done in fall theme thing, colors.
Like a leaf?
Like a leaf or a pumpkin, something like that. Okay. We're cool because we have Owalas.
Yeah.
Lululemon is still the athleisure of choice. Okay.
Still never owned any.
Kendra Scott jewelry. Do you have any Kendra Scott jewelry? Okay, well, we're gonna need to get you. We're gonna need to get you up to speed on some of this stuff.
I know I'm living under a rock. What else am I missing?
All right. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.